Hi everyone, it's Stephen here. In this video, I talk about the 3 best buy-to-let investment property types to buy. New and even the most experienced property investors can often fall into this trap by buying the wrong type of buy-to-let investment property. Why is this? It's because we get emotional. With interest rates climbing month by month and the highest property prices on record with low inventory levels, focusing on the right type of investment property will cut down your research time by half. And this will give you the opportunity to make a profit from day one. The 3 best types of investment properties that I'm going to be talking about in this video are going to give you the most amount of money in the quickest time with the least amount of risk and aggravation. One of the best ways as a property investor to make money is to manufacture your profits. This is done by adding more in perceived value than it's actually cost you in out-of-pocket expenses when it comes to refurbishing or renovating a property. Have you ever tried to make changes to a leasehold property? Things like removing a wall between the kitchen and the dining room to make an open plan kitchen diner, or adding another wall in a large bedroom to create an additional bedroom upstairs, or putting a toilet under the stairs. You have to seek permission from the freeholder to do these types of things. So that's why the first type of property to look for is a freehold one. So avoid leasehold, share a freehold, virtual freehold, all of these are the same thing. You have to seek permission from the freeholder to make any changes to your property. All of these types of properties have a lease associated with them, which dictate the terms that you can make changes on that property. So to avoid all the problems and the aggravation of trying to find the freeholder, get him to agree to it, maybe he'll charge you some money, there's loads of delay and all of that, skip leasehold types of properties and go for freehold. This information is normally available on the property listing. So if you're looking on sites like Rightmove or Zoopla, the information is normally there. They may say ask the agent, which you might have to reach out to the agent and find out if it's leasehold or freehold. As a general rule of thumb, if it's a flat, it's basically leasehold. If it's a house, it's going to be freehold. If you want to be king of your castle, look for freehold properties to buy and avoid leasehold properties as investment properties. I personally love it when I see in need of modernisation. This is a key requirement for me as a buy-to-let investor because I know that I can then manufacture some profit on that type of property. The property needs some TLC. It's not been updated for decades. The garden's full of weeds. These are my go-to properties for buy-to-let investments. These types of properties will tend to be older properties with a larger garden, larger internal space compared to their new equivalents in the same area. To find these types of properties, use the keyword filter in Rightmove or on Zoopla. Now you can't do this with the app, so you have to kind of get on the website and do it. You can just put in the word modernisation, and this will then give you back all the property listings that have the term modernisation in it. This kind of also has a bit of a problem because if people have used it's been modernised, it also brings back those types of properties. So it'll bring back all the properties that have been totally renovated already. Either way, it's still going to cut down your time to find these types of properties pretty fast because you can just skip the ones that have already been updated. It'll be quite easy to see from the photo. And the others that need modernisation, they're the one that you want to focus on and delve deeper into and have a look at those. Now the reason we want modernisation is because we want to manufacture our profits and increase the potential of the perceived value of that property by doing a light refurb or renovating that types of property. It's up to you how much you spend on that property. But you need to assess it with compared to the local market to see what the ceiling is for prices on that particular street as to how much you want to add to the value of that property, because don't just spend loads of money on a property for the sake of it thinking you can get whatever, because in that street, in that particular area, there's always going to be a ceiling. So understand that before you start to do any work on that particular property. You may ask, how do you find motivated sellers? Right now, we're in a seller's market, which means people can put whatever price they want on a property and someone will come along and buy it. Well, kind of, as long as it's kind of fairish value of that property. Have you noticed that those properties that sit on the market for 45 to 60 days and then they start to reduce their asking price? These were overpriced, and once you start to look in your particular area that you've chosen to look in to buy your investment property, set up alerts on it, you'll start to get a feel for what the right price is for that particular type of property, and you'll soon realise ones that are overpriced and you'll soon realise ones that are a great deal. Those properties that sit on the market those sellers are starting to become motivated. They're seeing all the properties coming onto the market and then being sold within a few weeks. Meanwhile, they're still sat there. They've had the agent calling them up, doing viewings, they're having to tidy up the place, let people in, go out, all these different things that you've got to do when you're selling a property. So they're starting to get motivated to sell as time progresses. But no one is looking at their house anymore. They had an offer after 2 days, which they refused, and now it's all gone quiet. You can find these types of properties quite easily on Zoopla. Rightmove gives you some of this functionality, but Zoopla gives you an extra bit of functionality. Now, Zoopla's extra functionality gives us the ability to filter by most reduced. So we can then see if people are actually reducing their property, and we can just filter by that. And the one at the top is the property that's been most reduced in our area based on our other filters of criteria for that property. Those that have reduced their price are motivated sellers. And the ones that haven't reduced their price yet, that have been on the market for a long period of time, there's probably a reason for that. They probably need to get that type of price to enable them to achieve what they're looking to do. But either way, the difference between a motivated seller and an unmotivated seller is always time. If you get the opportunity to talk to sellers, you want to be finding out what they're trying to achieve. Because they're not just trying to achieve selling their property. Selling their property is the enabler for them to achieve something in their life. It's because they're trying to retire, they want to go to the beach, they want to downsize, they can't afford the mortgage payments anymore because of the increase in the mortgage rates. Different things for different people, and if you can actually find out what that motivation is for that person to sell their property, this will give you an insight in how to position your offer for that particular seller so that you're more likely to get it accepted. One of the best ways to find motivated sellers is to advertise that you're looking to buy a particular type of house. So how I do this is I place an advert online, or it might be in a local paper, or door knocking, or leaflet drops. I basically tell as many people as possible that I'm looking to buy a 3-bed house in this particular area. So people that call you from the ad are going to be a bit wary about you initially. So you're going to have to build some rapport, understand what they're trying to achieve, and then understand their motivation and see if they actually are motivated to sell their property, or they're just dreaming about the price that they can potentially get because you're an investor and they think you're going to just pay top dollar. But the key thing to remember here is that they're not just trying to sell their property, they're actually trying to achieve an outcome. So your job as an investor to buy properties is to find out what they're trying to achieve with the sale of their property. As I said before, are they trying to retire, they're trying to downsize, move to the country, move to the seaside, get away from the mortgage payments. All of these things are potential things that they're trying to achieve, and then you can position your offer based on what they're trying to achieve. And this can be based on price or on terms. You'll soon identify truly motivated sellers because they'll work with you and work out what the solution could be for them to achieve what their desired outcome is, so that they can get to what they want to achieve faster with less hassle. So mixing freehold with in need of modernisation with a motivated seller is the utopian investment type of property to look for, as this allows you to manufacture your profits from day one and maximise the amount of profit you can potentially achieve. Now, if you want to find the 5 best buy-to-let investment postcodes for under £150,000, go and check out this video now. Thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.